With the 2016 Tour de France just days away, the teams are putting in the final touches to a vigorous preparation regime. For many, the Dauphiné, which took place earlier this month, is a crucial step to ensuring riders are ready and raring to go for cycling's biggest race.
The Dauphiné has always been the key test before the Tour de France. This is really just a last kind of test in a racing environment. I think the answer for most riders about how well they're going and where they are in terms of their preparation will come from the results this week.
For us, it's an important running into the Tour. So we've got this French race who is a little bit like a mini Tour de France. You have got some Alp stages, some mountain stages. You've got also a high level of the GC contender, and you get this feeling about the Tour that is fever.
The 8-day race is a warm-up, testing legs and the same routes that they may use at the Tour de France.
You get a lot of the main Tour contenders that come here to test their legs, gauge form against some of their rivals. Racing's equally an important part of training. The race is, as I said, it allows them to test themselves in a race environment and all the things that are a part of that. Main benefit of this race, I guess, is that it is in France, so teams also have the opportunity to do a bit of recon while they're here and become familiar with the roads and the crowd and other elements that also impact racing on the Tour.
It's in France, it's organised by ASO. Over the last few years, we've seen a number of occasions where Dauphiné has gone to specific finishes which the Tour will then use. In some cases, for some riders, it's a question of coming to France and getting used to French roads, getting used to some of the roads they're going to be riding on in the Tour de France in July.
And if recent years are anything to go by, the Dauphiné can give a good idea of who may be in the yellow on the Champs-Élysées, with both Brad Wiggins and Chris Froome completing the Dauphiné Tour double.
Riders that finish in the top 5, top 10 here are the main guys you're going to be looking at the Tour. In previous years, it's always been a fairly strong indicator. If you're going well at the Dauphiné, you're going to go well at the Tour de France. Team Sky has had a stranglehold on this race, I think, for the last 4 or 5 years, and pretty much had a stranglehold on the Tour for about the same amount of time. So that tells you something.
Of course, it's nice to try to win because you get the confidence for the full team staff, and you get out of the Dauphiné with, full of an advantage psychological on the other GC contender. We use Dauphiné to be good and do the last workload and some intensity, and then it's just resting, do some good training and be mentally ready for the Tour. Also the team also target this race because there's something we won from the last couple of years.
But despite Team Sky's dominance over the Dauphiné in recent years, there's not always a direct link between the race and the Tour.
In the last few years, you've seen Bradley Wiggins, Chris Froome, 2 out of the 3 last few years, winning here and then going on to have success at the Tour de France. But there's no real master plan or blueprint to it. I think the Dauphiné just gives you a barometer of where you are in terms of tour progression.
I think it's a good indication, but far from a fail-safe indicator. And there are good indicators all around the calendar, really. You've had times where people have gone too well in the Dauphiné and expended too much energy and paid for it later in the Tour de France. I don't necessarily think you can count someone out if they don't do well this week. On the other hand, as I said before, if someone wins here, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be really good in the Tour de France, because it's a long time between the start of the Dauphiné, certainly, and the end of the Tour de France.
So, whilst the Dauphiné may not be able to give a definitive answer on who will win the Tour de France, it certainly helps to decide who will be at Mont Saint-Michel on the 2nd of July.
It's a good chance to bring some key riders. Every day we think about, stage after stage, how the guys did, how they are mentally, physically. So we pick up all the small information, the marginal gain we call it. It helps to finalize the selection for the Tour. You get a proper good feeling, proper good feedback how the guys they are physically, and how much they need to do to be perfect before the Tour, or they need the rest or not, some training. So he's a proper good test for us, yeah.
And with Chris Froome claiming his 3rd Dauphiné win this year, Team Sky will be hoping their main man can deliver his 3rd Tour de France title.